Today's date is July 19th, 2020. Case number redacted.
Start from the beginning. What do you do for a living exactly?
I'm a gravedigger.
Okay, gravedigger. You know what you're implying by giving this statement, correct?
Yes, I'm well aware.
Okay. Then please, continue.
I know that it looks bad. Anybody with common sense would chalk it up to insanity. But, you see, I'm a logical person, believe it or not. I mean, you subpoenaed my medical records. You can see for yourself. I have no history of mental illness. I wouldn't make something like this up. That would be of no benefit to me. And I'm not attention seeking. I have absolutely nothing to hide. And your judgment towards my profession is entirely unwarranted. I don't see anything negative in a job that no one wants to do. That just means the position will always be available. Gravediggers can be your normal everyday person. It's not like I'm lurking in the dark like Igor waiting for my master. But that's besides the point. As a gravedigger, we do just that. We dig the graves for our recently deceased. During the ceremony, the coffin is lowered into the grave, then everyone mourns and leaves. During this occasion, once everyone left, it had gotten dark. And, along with digging graves, we also have to fill them back up. Unfortunately, I was the only one on the job since everyone else was scheduled earlier in the day. Some play music while they're working to rid themselves of the eerie darkness surrounding them in its silence. But for me, the silence, I enjoy it. It's the one time during the day where silence is at its purest. 9 times out of 10, you are completely alone. After 20, maybe 30 minutes, I decided to take a minute to catch my breath and lean on the shovel. While I was staring off into the empty graveyard, I could hear the shuffle of dirt moving. I looked around me and I couldn't see anyone. The graveyard, it closes after dark, and anybody that's caught wandering around would get a trespass, so nobody ever comes into the graveyard after dark falls. So because I couldn't see anybody, I took another shovel of dirt and I went to throw it into the grave when I heard the shuffling again. This time, though, under the beam of my flashlight, I watched as the fresh mound of dirt inside of the grave, it started to lift up in unison, then fall back down. Almost like someone tried to lift the lid of the casket to get out, but it was too heavy. I can't even tell you how long I stared at that dirt-covered casket, mid-shovel toss, trying to think of every reason in the book for what I had seen. Maybe my eyes are playing a trick on me? I mean, burying people alive is rare, but it has happened. I've never witnessed it myself, and it's never happened at our site. But I know for a fact it's documented throughout history.
And you're sure it's never happened at your location?
Since I've been employed there, positive.
What makes you so sure?
At the site, they offered me an additional position to make some extra money. Organizing and file keeping in the office. And when I would get bored, I would flip through old files. And I wasn't able to see any documentation of anyone being buried alive. Obviously, with a situation that serious, there would be an incident report, maybe legal documents, but I couldn't find anything. If something like that happened at the site, I wasn't employed there at the time, but there had to be a logical explanation for what happened.
What happened next?
While I was standing there, shovel in hand, I heard the dirt shift again. But this time, I saw the dirt shifting, without a doubt, like it was being lifted by the coffin lid. so I panicked.
What exactly was going through your mind?
That there's a first for everything. That maybe it was the first time in the history of the site of having somebody buried alive. So I dropped my shovel and dove into the open grave. I started digging through the dirt with my hands until I reached the coffin. I tried to pull it open, but it wouldn't budge, as if it was nailed shut.
Was the coffin nailed shut?
No, the coffin wasn't nailed shut, but I wasn't the one that opened it.
What do you mean?
I didn't open the coffin.
You didn't?
I did not open the coffin. I remembered my shovel. I was going to use it to pry the coffin open. So I was trying to get up to crawl out of the grave when something grabbed me.
Someone.
Something. In the few seconds that I turned my attention elsewhere, the coffin had opened up slightly and something grabbed my wrist. Then this banshee-like screaming erupted from the opening. Besides the fact that I was being held down in a grave by something in a coffin alone in a graveyard, the screaming sent me over the edge. And I screamed with whatever it was.
You started screaming.
Wouldn't you? Seriously, come on. I'm not a believer in the supernatural. I personally believe that once we're dead, we're dead. No hauntings or Casper the Friendly Ghost, none of that. But if there is another plane of existence out there, I don't want anything to do with it. My purpose in life isn't to mess with ghouls if they are real. But this was something else. I was able to see the hand that grabbed me, and it wasn't the hand of somebody living. It wasn't even the hand of someone who died. It was something else. The hand was distorted in an unnatural way, like their bones were in places they shouldn't have been. The skin was definitely human. Its fingertips were full and fleshy, not like someone who was deceased. But it was like they were dip-dyed in something darker than the color black. It wasn't ink or a tattoo.
And they just let you go?
After thrashing around, I was able to get my wrist loose, crawl up from the grave, and haul ass through the graveyard until one of your officers clotheslined me. I assume someone called the cops because of all the screaming.
Because of your screaming.
What saviors they were. Now I'm sitting here being interrogated like I did something wrong. I'm starting to think I was better off being dragged to hell by the ghoul in the graveyard.
When the detectives went to investigate the gravesite, the coffin was empty.
What?
The coffin was sealed and empty.
Oh, no. No.
Do you want to tell us where the deceased is?
How the hell would I know? You think I have something to do with it being missing? No, you can't do this. You can't do this to me. Oh, stop it. I didn't do anything. Agent finds the subject's interview genuine and true.